They say some houses don't just keep memories, they keep souls. And if you ever step inside, you may never leave. This is the story of four friends. A story of curiosity, of laughter, of courage, and of terror so deep it swallowed them whole. Their names were Emma, Mark, Lucy, and David. On one cold autumn evening, they went to explore the abandoned house on Blackwood Hill. The locals warned them, but they didn't listen. What happened that night is something no one will ever forget. The road to Blackwood Hill was narrow, twisting, and swallowed by trees. Fog clung to the ground like a blanket, and the headlights of their car barely pierced the dark. When they reached the top, they saw it. The mansion, a giant skeleton of wood and stone towering above the forest. Its roof sagged, windows shattered, walls cracked with age. Crows circled overhead, their cries sharp and hollow. Emma leaned forward in her seat. She was 22, curious, adventurous. Her dark hair fell over her face as she stared, almost entranced. "There it is," she whispered, "the Harrington house." Beside her, Mark scoffed. Tall, confident, a skeptic at heart. "Looks like it's one gust of wind away from collapsing." In the back seat, Lucy clutched her jacket tight. Quiet, soft-spoken, sensitive. Her voice trembled. "My grandmother told me stories about this place. She said the Harringtons disappeared here. No bodies, no explanation." David, ever the joker, pulled out his phone and hit record. Which makes this the perfect backdrop for our haunted vlog. Just imagine, 4 students spend the night in a cursed mansion. This is gold. The car crunched to a stop on the gravel. The 4 climbed out. Cold air wrapped around them like icy fingers. The house loomed above, silent, watching, waiting. "Ready?" Emma asked. "No," Lucy said instantly. "Yes," David grinned. Mark just shook his head and muttered, "This is ridiculous." And yet, none of them turned back. They climbed the stone steps. The front door towered before them, its wood swollen, its iron handle rusted. Emma reached out. Her hand trembled, though she pretended it didn't. And before she could even push, the door creaked open on its own. A long, low groan of wood. A sigh, almost like relief. They froze. Then, one by one, they stepped inside. Inside, the air was heavy. It smelled of dust, mold, and something faintly metallic, like old blood. Their flashlights cut through the darkness. Furniture sat beneath white sheets, frozen in time. Cobwebs hung from the chandeliers like curtains. And on the walls, portraits of the Harrington family, but every face had its eyes scratched out. The silence was thick, too thick. Mark forced a laugh. Creepy decorators, that's all. But Emma felt something. The house wasn't just abandoned, it was waiting. They began to explore. Each step echoed louder than it should have. Upstairs came a sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. Mark raised his flashlight. Probably raccoons. But when the beam reached the landing, there was nothing. Just empty halls. Then came another sound. The piano. From the living room, faint notes drifted. Low, broken, wrong. Keys pressing down by themselves. Lucy gasped. David grinned, holding up his phone. "This is amazing." He recorded the sound, replayed it. But on the video, the piano wasn't alone. A woman's voice whispered, "Why are you here?" The friends stared at each other. Mark muttered, "Fake." "Has to be fake." But his voice shook. They pressed deeper into the house. Emma was drawn to a locked door at the end of the hall. Its wood was scarred with scratches, deep, desperate claw marks. She touched the handle. The lights flickered, but there was no power in the house. The lock clicked open by itself. The door swung wide. Inside was a nursery. The wallpaper was faded, peeling. A cradle rocked gently, though no one touched it. And in the corner sat a doll, its mouth sewn shut. But instead of thread, human teeth were stitched into its smile. Lucy screamed, stumbling back. "We need to leave." Now David laughed nervously. "It's just an old doll." Mark muttered, "Yeah, someone planted it here." But Emma couldn't look away. The doll's hollow eyes seemed to stare into her soul. And then the cradle stopped rocking. The silence grew thicker, colder. Emma glanced at the clock on the wall. It read 11:55. 5 minutes until midnight. When the clock struck 12, the house changed. The sound was deafening. Every door slammed shut at once. Windows clanged closed. The air grew heavy, pressing down on their chests. The portraits on the walls were different now, no longer the Harringtons, but Emma, Mark, Lucy, David, painted in blood. Lucy screamed. Her body jerked backward as invisible hands grabbed her ankles. She clawed at the floor, nails splintering, leaving streaks of blood. Her eyes wide, begging. Then she vanished, dragged into the shadows. Her scream echoed, then silence. David's laughter turned hysterical. "This isn't real. This isn't real." He stumbled to a mirror on the wall and froze. The reflection wasn't him. It was a corpse, older, rotting, hollow-eyed, its jaw slack, skin peeling. And then it smiled. David screamed. The reflection reached out, and his own skin began to sag, rotting, collapsing. He clawed at his face, shrieking until his voice broke. Mark ran for the front door, slamming his fists against the wood. But the house fought back. Nails shot out of the frame, piercing his palms. Blood ran down his arms as he howled in agony. The house groaned as though alive, as though feeding. Emma staggered back into the nursery. The cradle rocked violently now, and the doll turned its head. Its sewn mouth opened. The human teeth clicked together, and in a voice like dry leaves it whispered, "Stay with us forever." Emma spun around, and there they were, the Harrington family standing behind her, pale, eyeless, smiling. Emma ran through twisting hallways that stretched too long, bent too sharp. Shadows stretched across the walls, arms reaching for her. Whispers filled her ears, voices of children crying, women singing lullabies, men groaning in pain. She found the front door. Her hands tore at the handle, and finally, it opened. But outside wasn't the world. It was the same hallway she had just fled. Rotting, endless. "No," she gasped. "No, no, no." Her voice cracked into sobs. Then time snapped. She was back at the entrance. The door creaked open once again, and there were her friends stepping inside, laughing, joking, as if nothing had happened. But this time, Emma wasn't with them. Instead, the nursery rocked gently. The cradle swayed. The doll sat upright, its stitched teeth gleaming, and in the rocking chair beside it sat Emma, her face pale, her eyes hollow, her lips moving slowly, whispering, "Welcome home."